Hi everyone, I'm Rohan Raj. I am a GRC and SecOps consultant. I'm currently based out in Manila, Philippines. I generally work across Southeast Asian countries. My general area of interest is that when a customer invests in IRM program or they invest in ServiceNow platform, they should get maximum value and then they should be able to make the most out of it. I would be demonstrating a smart assessment engine. And right now, I think it's the time of the year when the IT managers or the application owners have to fill out a long questionnaire talking about the risk or the controls that are applicable on their application. And this is a yearly exercise which can have 50 to 100 questions with regards to vulnerability, with regards to multi-factor authentication, with regards to backup, encryption, and whatnot. And let's be honest, nobody wants to fill that out. It's an operational nightmare for all the parties involved. For the risk managers to send out those questionnaires and then track over emails, follow up, then consolidate, compile, and whatnot. For the respondent, they feel it half asleep. They don't want to do it, and they are most of the time they're just guessing yes or no. So we'll be talking about a smart assessment engine within ServiceNow. It's a feature, a functionality all risk managers would benefit from the smart assessment engine. So let's dive right into it. So this is a general control attestation life cycle, right? So control attestation life cycle would have your draft, attest, review, monitor, and retire stages. Now, question is that can we make our assessment better, more user friendly, less frustrating for the respondent as well for the risk manager to compile those codes. To address the issues around how frustrating the experience used to be, if you remember those grayscale screen and then questions with yes or no answers, and it can get really lengthy, and you cannot also delegate. A smart assessment engine solves a lot of problems. One, of course, the UI part is there, the experience part is there, but it also enables more functionalities such as collaboration, such as automation, such as scoring. Because scoring is something that different departments view scoring or use scoring in a different manner. So one department may have a scale of 1 to 5, another may have 1 to 10, another maybe have a percentage based scoring 1 to 100, whatnot. Now, how do you normalize it? So with a smart assessment engine, you can do all those things. Moreover, there is one more functionality which is automation. Now, say that this is the score of assessment, then do this automatically without having the risk manager to do or intervene. We will look at the assessment workspace first, and then we will dive deeper into one of the assessment that I have created for this specific demo. Yeah. So this is called as assessment workspace, and in which you can create multiple assessments. So I've created this smart controller assessment, which is yearly assessment. Now, how do you create it? I'll quickly run through it. So you start with the details, you fill out, okay, this is the template name, okay, this is the assessment name. Then what is the description? So you add some description to give context. Then this is the control category, because we are the question is of attestation of a control. This can also be risk identification category if you want to link it to a risk identification flow. Then what are the records that are going to be assessed? So a control record would be assessed here. Then you can add some settings. So how many days, 14 days, what role can read it. This is currently in a published state already. So, you see here, these are questions, right? Then comes the part of automation. I have just created one draft automation, notify head of department. So if, let's say, response is that number of critical vulnerabilities greater than 1,000 and PAM integration is not there, then notify the department head. And then you can also do some scoring around it, right? So how do you make sure that the scores are calculated correctly? So now, right now I'm going with average of all section scores. Now, what are sections? Sections are logical grouping of questions. So let's start with this. So it is called security controls. So I just have created this question, is multi-factor authentication enforced? And the question type is a drop down, and we can select a single, there is a scoring involved. So yes, no, and approved exception. There is a scoring 100, 0, 100, and a weightage of 50. Same for PAM integration. Now, is your application PAM integrated? That's the question. So we have just added these values here. And then the question is, when did you do last penetration testing? One important thing is that we are also asking for evidence, right? So attachment is mandatory. So you say that, okay, it was patched last month or penetration testing was done last month. Add the evidence. Yeah. Then let's go to the next section, which talks about resilience and operation. So, how many critical vulnerability? That's the first question. What is your RTO? If you think from a BCM perspective, RTO is the important parameter. And then the question, are backups encrypted? Now you can go on and create more groups of questions so that it's easy to answer, right? So this is how you create a assessment. This is the persona of the risk manager who is creating the assessment so that it can be launched to other people so that they can answer. So I'll go to a control. You remember this assessment is a control category assessment. So I'll simply go to a control. There are few things that I would ask you to notice, right? So if you see on the right, I'm just exposing couple of fields here. There is one field which is this attestation, then attestation method. Attestation method, please select it as attestation. There can be two options. One is classic. Classic is the old way of doing things, so don't do it. Then select it as attestation. If there is a attestation of a smart assessment type, then it can be attached here. This field is old, so please make sure that you keep these nuances in mind. And then let's go into this control. Okay, so this is the control. Great, let's look at it. I think my name is the system administrator here. Perfect. Okay, I'll just save it. I'll put it to attest again. Let's go to the employee center portal. And the idea is that we will have to go to I'll go to my GRC workspace. I think that my GRC tasks. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's go to my tasks. Okay, so this is the smart control assessment. Let's open it. And just for the sake of comparison, yeah, I will just show you how the old ones look like and how this one looks like. Yeah. Okay, I'll just go to my pending tasks. I'll go to classic attestation. I'll open this one. Now you see uh, the poor experience, firsthand. So this is how you do it, right? Imagine having 50 questions here, right? Now let's come to the smart assessment engine. So this is the new UI for it. If you see on the right hand side, you get the details of what are you filling for, right? So you're filling for this. It's a active control. This is the name. This is the owner. And then it is requested to this person. What is the due date? So it's due 14 days from now. Yeah. Here you don't get anything. So, just imagine the level of difference that it has, right? So this is the old way of doing the assessment. This is the new way of doing assessment. It's highly, highly recommended that you migrate fast to smart assessment engine to leverage all the features that it has. Now I'll quickly fill it out. Yeah. So few things, right? So if there are hundreds of questions and I have already filled out, let's say 5 or 10, I don't want to look at them again. I will filter it out by unanswered questions. If I want to add more people to contribute to it, I can add more people and then they can be working on different sections. I will also have that visibility that they are working there. If I want to add comments, I will add comments. Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Yes. No. I'll just keep this attachment. Yeah. Okay. Okay, let's go to resilience part of things. I will simply say I have 100. No, it can't be more than that. So we have set a limit that it cannot be more than 1,000. Yeah. And for this, it is 2 hours. I'll say yes. And then I think we can just submit it. That's all. I have reviewed my answers. Submit. Okay. Yeah. So now you see all 6 of 6 questions are answered. Okay, so the control is now compliant. You have answered the question. That's it. And you can look at the 360 view, so on and so forth. I'll be very candid. Risk management is a very fascinating area. And this is just maybe less than 1% of the risk management domain itself and the functionality that ServiceNow has. But there is an old way of doing things, and then there is this new way of doing things, which is much more efficient. And it's important that uh, we acknowledge the new functionality, we acknowledge the modernization, and then we migrate towards it. Please feel free to ask any questions if you have with regards to how to set up the smart assessment engine. In case you are having some issues around it, I'll be more than happy to help.